Another response to my argument. Hold on, I got interrupted. Okay, never mind. It was something funny. But we're back. So because BLM wasn't a movement, this is false. BLM was a movement. The point of it was to bring awareness to black suffering through hate crimes, make them happen less. BLM protests were violent. Movements don't have protests. Is that what we're saying here? Because a movement, in order for a movement to actually be a movement, it needs to have protests. We did not. Whatever. We had a lot of peaceful demonstrations, but they refused to acknowledge that. By the way, racists stormed the Capitol on January 20th, 2020. Was it 2020 or 2021? Whichever day. It's probably 2020. 2021. Right? They stormed the Capitol and destroyed it because they were mad that their president, who's now our president, I'm not gonna call him our president though, their president did not get elected. Remember that. All right, anyways, back to what I was saying. A lot of BLM protests were violent simply because of the protesters. It's simply the idea that race matters more than other, that we need to band together to make one movements focus on the specific race. That in itself is racist, homie. I'm super white. This is a love letter to me. I'm super white and my girl is pretty black. In life, the people I choose to be around don't acknowledge color. I never said that I did. I said that BLM was supposed to acknowledge that those who suffer because people acknowledge color was a movement to defend them. That is exactly my claim. I actually reiterated that in 3 different fonts, but no matter how I frame it to make these white racist people, because this is a white guy, you can see it in the picture. Oh wait, sorry. This is a white guy, you can see it in the picture. No matter how many times I explain it to these people, they refuse to acknowledge this as fact. These assholes don't care about what they're saying. They just hate black people and refuse to acknowledge that because they're ashamed of the fact that they're racist, but don't want to admit it because they would much rather lie to themselves than admit the fact that they are horrible people and try to reform. Sorry, got out of my limit. Anyways, they're trying to call it BLM racist. Anyways, let's go ahead and go right here. In nature, mutt breeds are stronger than pure breeds. Less heart problems and less genetic defects. He's trying to say that we're meant to procreate. I actually agree. We pass genetics through having sex with species that are the same and have the most survivability. This is natural selection. The traits in which are most desirable in a human for procreation for a male usually includes a large penis. This does not matter for what I'm about to say next, because everybody can have a big penis. But why did he bring up procreating? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What was the point here? I didn't say we couldn't have sex with white people. That was never the point. I didn't even talk about sex. He's just horny. Grown ass man in my fucking comments being a fucking freak. Anyways, let me continue. Cool. This one's pretty long, buddy. God forbid black people get together to stop racism. Also, my nigga, do you get a license to ride dick the way you do, bro? Oh my lord, this was 3 weeks ago. And at this point, you're still wrong. Do me a favor and don't reply to this, because if you do, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. You saw me smoke the holy shit, stutter of doom, the chat GBT using obviously white, thinks he's black, motherfucker. And watch this idiot word, bro. Watch that idiot word, bro. Basically, I'm telling him watch that fucking mouth. Oh, because I'm not done for being right. Oh my fucking lord. At the end of the day, this debate comes from internal or circulated racism that you're subconsciously ignoring or perpetuating. I actually just made this point earlier in the video. Rather than being on my dick about defending black people, how about you make it a mission for people to never defend one specific race and push for equality? Unless you're a billionaire, racists don't even care about you. Forget a race war. People need to look at the 1% and beef with the... Sorry, I said that wrong. The class disparity and beef with the 1% who profit off of this nonsense. If you read this fully, do your own research, research that goes against what you think, and sort both sides out to confirm for yourself. Be a free thinker, not a racist, because you were told that black people were the problem, and question your reality. Stop trying to argue with niggas on a handheld computer. That's what I was being hyper specific about that phone. All right, oh, it's the same screenshot. We cool. BLM was never financial. I don't know who said it was. Hold on, let me go find that right here. BLM literally scam people. It was a stupid movement. All lives do matter. No lives matter more than others. People keep thinking that BLM is a black supremacist movement when it is not. That's stupid, but whatever. No lives matter more than others. The BLM riots resulted in 3 billion damages across cities. Hey Google. $2.7 billion. One day. It took them 1 day to do all of that financially. I will actually go ahead and look at another source because I saw like about 2.3 million. I want to kind of look at that as well. We should say shit. Your property damage. They did this much. Let's say they did only this much. They did this in 1 day. Do you know BLM spanned across a year and a half? They did this much damage in 1 year. They did nearly 1,000th of the damage that they claimed that BLM did to the country in 1 day. 1 day, right? And we can see 30 million, which makes them do 1/100th in 1 day. A lot of them say 1.5 million. Let's go ahead and say they did that. Maybe 1/2000th over a year. They did that in a few hours. Negro took years to do it. White man did it in 1 week. All right, let's go back to this. He doesn't fall victim to the bullshit. That victim word, I'm gonna come back to it. Don't worry about it. All right, let me go ahead and read my responses to this. BLM was never financial. Actually, hold on. Let me go ahead and get my sources real quick. Hold up. All right, I'll read this in a second. But anyways, all lives do matter. BLM was the assertion to include black people in that. It's not about black supremacy, and whoever told you that was trying to make you hate black people, or maybe even yourself. Look up opposing sides to what you believe. I basically the same thing I told the last dude, right? Basically, fact check yourself. Race wars are and all the BS people believe in are made to separate and divide people, divide and conquer. Our government does not care about all of us or any of us. Divide and conquer. If we spend our time arguing with each other, right, when we realize who our actual enemies are. Everything I said was part of a teaching moment, which is true. I never not once inserted an insult to these people until they insulted me first. Remember that. Never did I once use a slur that didn't belong to my people. The guy you're defending, who replied to my comments, did. Victim mentality is a term simply to convince you that those other... Oh, shit. Here's my explanation of victim mentality. Victim mentality is a term simply to convince you and others that those who suffer weren't trying hard enough or vaping about it and never presented the idea that they never had a chance to believe it. I mean, again, to begin with, right? Question your belief system, think for yourself, and have a great rest of your day. Notice how I'm disengaging with these people in the most polite way I can. Some of these people are the most hateful pieces of shit I can think about, but a lot of these people don't respond. Now, this was today. This is what made me want to make this video. Candance Owens didn't scam BLM. That is technically my fault. I want to see if she did. I'm going to go ahead. Did Candance Owens scam with BLM? So she has a documentary, but she exposes herself in it allegedly. Let's go ahead and read that. I just want to look at the source. I'm gonna go ahead and read this like without my browser, but I'm gonna go ahead. Oh my god, she talks about Kanye West and how he's a fucking piece of shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, I didn't even know this. So instead of scamming black people directly, she made a documentary to prove that George Floyd deserved to die. Wow. She recorded a video saying that she did not support protests. She told her, okay, hold on, I'm gonna show you this because I can't lie. She told her phone that the media depiction of Floyd as a martyr for Black America ignored his past criminal record. He stole once, he did drugs, he got into a fight. Something like that, right? Even if he doesn't deserve to die. Like I don't understand the logic here, but I'm gonna go ahead and read through this. Owens is a film star, narrating and playing a role as an interpretive reporter. Blah 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 blah. The lie that he was murdered is proven that he's murdered in like 4 different ways. If you want to watch a video on that, I actually got a video for you. I just watched it yesterday. I'm gonna open up my YouTube. I'm gonna go through my history real quick. Gotcha. Right here. Not this video, but it's actually yeah, I don't. Is it this guy's channel?
In a world where
it's the Ben Shapiro is racist video. Sorry, I'll actually like play a clip.
And riots.
This is about BLM.
Wasn't
revised position, that is.
The Minneapolis police chief said
once there was no longer any resistance, and clearly when Mr. Floyd was no longer responsive, to continue to apply that level of force to a person proned out, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy, is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part.
The effects are extremely similar. The movement happens around at different times, but obviously the key thing is everything up to the time that we see the hypoxia, the brain injury that's occurring, and where Officer Chauvin moved his knee after that really is not going to have a material impact on the case.
You keep saying science, so show me science, because I don't see science in that video.
The effort to
Ben Shapiro's a racist. He's a grifter, but that's not the point of this video. I was just trying to prove that he was killed. If you want me to watch the whole thing, I'll do it separately. But clearly that was either outside of protocol. The man clearly wasn't resisting, so there was no point to keep his knee on him. That was assessed in the first part of that clip. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm already like 40 minutes into this. All right. Anyways, back to what I was saying. That's on her, not on her. Basically trying to say that BLM niggas scared us or whatever. So actually, let's go ahead and talk about that. So right here, this guy in summary says, because I read this article, please trust me. If you don't want to trust me, it's fine. I'll go ahead and go through my private DMs with another person. I will have to decide though. And I will try to get my response, specifically my response. All right, so I say that the mansion isn't connected to BLM funds. It was investigated. You can look at here on this story right here, by the way. Or just read it for yourself. Dude, read it and he said like, by the way, BLM made $90 million bare minimum. The $6 million was spent on one mansion, even allegedly. And even then, in that case, those houses, in this one right here, this. Oh wait, is this the right one? Oh wait. Sorry. This is not the source. This is the one I was talking about. This one right here. So this right here, and the synopsis of this is basically that hey, they did use funds. This right here, but they actually made space for Black people. This is true. This is like, go look into it yourself. But they ended up using that property for Black people themselves. Even if they use $8 million, that's still like only like maybe a ninth of all the funds. From the protests, the movement, and they made billions of dollars allegedly. So like, even if that was the case, they didn't really scam us. And even then, if BLM scammed Black people, it still spoke out for Black people far more than it did like any other movement from progressive era, anything that a white person has ever done. So the leaders of this movement cannot be held accountable for any scamming they've done if they have literally only done things to benefit us in the long run. But I digress. I literally need to blow my nose though, so I don't know how I'm gonna chop this up. I'm gonna probably do it in 2 parts. Like 2 parts. They're gonna be completely unedited. But maybe 2 parts. But they're gonna go all of them are gonna go today. Because I need to get a video out. I literally need to make some content. I haven't made content in a minute. But anyways, let's go back to this. So let's go back. Where the hell? Okay, type shit. So right here. All right. So she never apologized for slavery. That's when I called her a slavery apologist earlier in the video. Like I said, slavery apologists are not people who apologize for slavery. They're people who defend the concept of it by saying that slavery was a thing that other people did. He even says that it existed globally in the West led its abolition. Well, buddy, chattel slavery was not the most popular form of slavery and wasn't the form of slavery that people in Africa were using. They were using basic servitude. They were making maidens out of their POWs, prisoners of war. So making a maiden out of a POW or making them give you service or anything like that is not the same thing as breeding them on farms and auctioning them off. Let's please understand that treating black people like cattle isn't the same thing as enslaving people. Both are bad, but they're not the same. And chattel slavery treated us like animals. They dehumanized us to get away with it. All right, anyways, we'll go back to it. So boom, bam. I'm trying to figure out what my response was. No, we already read that. No, we already read that. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted, so I'm gonna get back to what I was trying to say. All right, so like right here, when did it get? Oh yeah. When did ALN? All that's right. He stated to be a supremacist movement. I never said it was. I actually said it was conservative, and he immediately started being an asshole. I already pointed this out. Now, where did I say I was offended? Now, while I am technically offended by the severity of the idiocy being addressed in here, I never actually said I was offended in these messages. I never even gave off the type of shit. I actually just responded to niggas who said something to me. Why do you feel the need to argue with me in defense of a point made by a blonde guy who swears he's black, who's not black, for Candance Owens, a known Trump supporter, a right-leaning misinformation spreading podcaster? We actually just proved that she spreads misinformation. My point, and by the way, in this thing, let's go ahead and just find the word MAGA because that's MAGA. We can go ahead and find the word MAGA. So Kanye said that was a joke, right? And she's basically trying to say that they're friends allegedly, and she's defending this nigga because of course she would, bro. By the way, she wore a White Lives Matter shirt, by the way, just in case you weren't aware. So she actually just doesn't care about black people and wanted to make it seem like that white people are victims again in the country where they enslaved people. But, you know, let me go back to what I was trying to say. Because, of course, none of this will matter in the end because no one's actually going to care about reading or watching this. All right, so let me get to this last point. So let me add to this. The point about slavery is weird to me. I actually do think it's weird. Breeding, assaulting, and auctioning people like cattle isn't the slavery game that was globalized until after it was done in America. Like I said, it was kind of similar to servitude. An analogy for you. If a guy kills your dad, then protest for murder victims, did he still kill your dad? Well, yes. If slave owners did chattel slavery, then suddenly walked back on it after doing, well, walked back meaning they steps back, stopped doing it. They undid it. They made it seem like they didn't do it. Requiring you that it needs to end, did they still do it? Yes. If they fought a war to do slavery, to end slavery, they still started that shit. Stop saying what you're saying is true. With reality, you want to use a black voice, which is Candance Owens, to echo your ideas into the black community. Basically, conservative black people echo the ideas of conservative racists into our community, and they use them as evidence that we should be conservative, when in fact they are just misinformed. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna go back to the video. I wasn't actually done recording, sorry. I know that people's attention span are cooked, so I'm gonna actually have to chop this video up into parts. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. So mind you, she's not valid. That's all I said in the beginning. That is true. I never said anything else until people asked me, until people questioned it. I ain't gonna word it to ask why I thought not, because they didn't actually ask me like a question. 4+ people replied to me arguing about issues about black folks in America rather than ignoring it. While I'm defending myself, I clearly offended people, that includes you, by the way, enough to warrant a response. All right, I'm going to talk about this last thing. This was actually asserting that Cochise was racist in the first video. So you literally don't see any other race asking, do our lives matter to you? By the way, he didn't say ours. He said, do black lives matter? It was a joke, by the way. God forbid a nigga make a racially made joke, right? You said make free speech, bro. Talk about race and shit. But then when black people do it, all of a sudden, no, it's not the same. No, we can't do that. You fucking serious, nigga? Come on now, bro. And then like I don't even want to talk about this, bro. This is my theory. Nigga didn't even make himself a theory. He's just a fucking racist. All right.